Hey guys, so I want to talk a little bit about frustration, especially for those of us in this field of alternative healing and spirituality and new consciousness, pushing the envelope of consciousness and stuff. And now we're getting into 2012 and unity consciousness and all this stuff. And I know that I find often that I get frustrated. I know that all of this stuff works. The primary tool I use, is fundamentally is the theta healing. I use meditation. I have certain people that I call that use theta healing and other things as well. And absolutely, time after time after time in my life and in my usage of these techniques, that there's been some dramatic changes, sometimes instantly, and sometimes over longer periods of time. And of course, I've seen some miraculous transformations and healings in the people around me, people that I've gotten the privilege to work with, and people that I know of. Certainly, again, in the theta healing community, but other communities as well. And yet, at the same time, we get frustrated and we feel like nothing's happening. We want this stuff often, and I'm speaking from experience, we want this thing to work kind of like a magic pill and for all of our issues to go away. I've had a number of times in the last few years where clients would come and list off, 3 or 4 or 5 major life issues. And there's a kind of an expectation. Sometimes it's clearly said, and sometimes it's not, that this person is hoping that we will be able to finish completely clearing these issues in a 55-minute hour session. Absolutely big changes happen, but often what happens is the changes come, but many times they come in a way that's not in alignment with what the ego and the conscious mind wants and expects. Some things change at the drop of a hat instantly, and some things, fundamental primary issues that we have seem to go on forever and ever, and often we feel like nothing is changing. And I've had that myself. I've done one of my primary issues is relationships. Now, if I look at myself and my relationships between now and I'm not just talking, relationships, romantic relationships with women. I'm talking all kinds of relationships, certain relationships with my family, relationships with women, relationships with business partners and friends and so forth. Looking back the 8 years that from when I first started doing theta healing, and certainly even years before, because theta healing isn't the first technique that I've used successfully to resolve things in my life. Now, I'm dramatically in a different place, and in a place where I'm much happier than I was at the beginning. And still, there's things that come up that appears not to work. I think that sometimes we think we're these cartoon characters where we change 1 or 2 things and suddenly everything has to be perfect. And yes, yes, there's huge movement in people with these techniques. And that can be true, and we can still continue to have things that bother us about the same issues or different issues. One of the things that a lot of people need to understand is they have 1 or 2 or 3 sessions over some issue, and a lot of stuff gets cleared away, but not everything. Maybe they're not ready to face certain things yet. Maybe they consciously or unconsciously like certain aspects of what they're experiencing that makes them not want to let go of certain things. that's okay. And again, I speak directly from personal experience. There's stuff that I simply knew that I should let go of, but I just simply didn't want to. I wasn't ready. So I hadn't gotten to the deeper parts. So I don't know what the basic message is, but give yourselves some slack sometimes, and give the people that help you some slack as well. Because if we're doing this work, we're doing the best we can. Often we're working. Certainly, often we can find ourselves slipping into working from a place of ego and a place of thinking without realizing it, projecting our own ideas about the way things should be onto people. But most people that are doing this are pretty good people, and they're doing their best. And we're just scratching the surface of how all of this works. We really don't know everything by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're working on some stuff and you feel frustrated that things haven't been changing, maybe on the outside they haven't been. Maybe there's stuff on the inside you haven't been willing to go to for whatever reason. But just keep on doing it, because eventually, over time, if you haven't had one of those moments where everything changes in an instant with a particular issue that you have a lot of emotional investment in, both negative and positive, then give yourself some time and continue to kind of peel away the layers, and eventually you start having realizations and being able to come at things from different angles, and the right person will help you or show up when you're ready. Maybe it's divine timing, who knows? So give yourself a break. So let's see, we can give some downloads here. Let's download, make it, we're going to give downloads that if it's okay for you, that you know how and when to recognize when you're ready to let go of the next level of an issue, which may be the whole issue and maybe only a part of it. That if you want to know how and what it feels like to know what you're ready to let go of, and be okay with that and be satisfied with that for now, just say yes. Give you those downloads. and let's teach you how to actually live your life. That's a good one. This is one of my friends speaking to me in my little brain here. I can hear their voice. That you don't have to have all of your stuff resolved before you can start living your life, and that how and it feels like, and that's possible for that to work, and you can still be happy without having everything finished or fixed. And so if you want that, just say yes. And how and what it feels like to be happy. I'm not sure if I said that already. How and what it feels like to be happy without everything fixed, the way your brain and your ego thinks you want it fixed. So if you want that, so we'll give you that. And how to allow the really big, even with that being true, how to allow some of the really big kind of miraculous changes within yourself and the way you perceive yourself and how you experience your reality, that also can coexist somehow with everything not always being the way your ego wants it to be. So if that's okay, say yes. And let's teach you the difference between what your personality's agenda is and your soul and your higher self's agenda is, in a way that can be mutually beneficial. Show you the difference between them, and in a way that both can be served. So if that's okay, say yes. And let's make it so that you know that you don't have to have all of your personality issues resolved for you to have the kind of spiritual progress, because the personality doesn't have to become like whatever you think the ideal personality should be for you to have the spiritual progress you need. That imperfection in your personality and the way you experience this incarnation can be flawed, and you can have profound shifts in your awareness and increasing in the frequency of your consciousness to more deeper and deeper into your true self. That they can coexist in ways that maybe your personality doesn't understand today. So if you want that one, how and what that feels like is possible, is safe, Creator's understanding of that, say yes. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Bye.